One hay. Why is there one in the script?
Cedar Point is pretty cool, even though it's not even close to the best park in America. With one of the best coaster collections in the world, it's hard to go wrong with anything at this park. But yada yada, some coasters are better than others and whatever. Basically, I'm just in dire need for videos, so I'm making a top 10 for Cedar Point. Enjoy! But before that, our sponsor, we will find the sponsor for this video! Is it like, right there?
Let's go!
Yeah, sorry for not posting in like 3 months, even though it's only been 2 months at the time I'm writing this. I've been seriously lacking the drive, power, work, and hours to do anything YouTube, so I'm not sure when I'll be fully back to making videos, but it will probably happen at some point. Thanks for understanding. Alright, Cedar Point. Cool place. Yeah, coasters, good, woo. Number 10 is Rugru, the Boom Floorless. I honestly didn't think Rugru was that bad at all, like some people do. To me, it really just felt like an invert, but like, not an invert? I don't know, does that make any sense? I thought Rugru was pretty good. It was rattly at times, but boom headbanging is like really easy to avoid, so it didn't really bother me in the slightest bit. I liked the first half a lot, and the whippy moments were also very fun. Then from there, the rest of the ride was fun, but it just didn't do a lot. It really just meanders through everything after the mid-course. Honestly, it kind of feels like really bulky Copperhead Strike. Overall, I give it a Cedar Point's number 10 out of 10. I don't know. Number 9 goes to Valravn. I know this coaster gets absolutely loaded with hate, and like, yeah, I guess I can see how you could think that, but it's not really bad. Like, it isn't that good, but at least it has some swoopy drops and a rolly roll. The vests definitely don't do it any favors, but they don't hurt or anything, so I can't say that they absolutely ruin the ride for me. I'd absolutely ride it again, and to be honest, I'm eager to, since my only ride thus far is a middle row middle seat ride. Yeah, I got kinda screwed. That's okay though, it's still fun, so you guys should stop bullying Valravn. I give Valravn an expensive watch out of 10 for the roly roly. Number 8 is Gemini. Are you a Gemini? I'm not. I still like Gemini a lot though. I always thought the whole racing concept was really played up by enthusiasts to be a lot more than it really is, but no, I actually think it adds a fair bit to the ride. Especially on Gemini, where there are a bunch of slow turns where you can menacingly stick out your tongue at the people on the other side. It's honestly just a lot of fun. You can split up your groups so that you can taunt each other, and it makes the experience just that little bit better. Also, it races every time, which is cool. Aside from the racing aspect, the ride is actually pretty fun. It has some solid floater airtime with a little aero jank, except unlike a coaster higher on this list, it doesn't hurt. Gemini good. Gemini gets a good out of 10. Number 7 is that coaster that is higher on the list. Magnum Extra Long 200. If you know Magnum, you probably know it for being the first full circuit coaster over 200 feet and for having some ridiculously strong airtime. And yeah, I guess the latter point is true, and the first point, but facts are cringe. But I still don't love Magnum. The drop and first hill are kinda whatever, then you get some airtime and a turnaround before getting a lot more airtime. I could say a lot more than that, but for the sake of keeping this concise, that's your brief description. Let me know if you want to see a full review on Magnum, and maybe I can get that out within the decade. Basically, the airtime is definitely strong, but I found it to be a little over-exaggerated by some people. Also, I'm like 6'1", so my knee would rest against the back of the row in front of me and slam into it every time the G-force dipped below 0. Magnum cool, but half of it felt like an enlarged mine train and the other half caused bruising. My rating is gonna be needs better tall people support out of 10. And yes, I did ride in the Magic Seat, so don't scream at me in the comments, please. Number 6 is probably controversial, but I don't actually have a clue how y'all rank Cedar Point coasters anymore. It's Gatekeeper. I feel like my brain can't decide whether I found this coaster really boring or pretty fun, but it ended up here, so I guess I liked it. Wing coasters are pretty fun, and Gatekeeper is one of the biggest ones around. The drop is super fun, like all wing over drops, and I did gray out at the bottom I think, so if you were wondering if it has force, yeah. I actually don't remember if I grayed out or not, but I'm gonna say I did, so nobody says, OMG, gate forceless. Looking at you, Scott. The airtime hill has a bit of floater and the inversions are pretty cool. Me likey. The rolls over the front gate are especially fun. They have near misses and they're shaped in their little wing coaster shaping, you know? They're kind of like, you know. So they have some weird like shove to them. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's a good thing. Gatekeeper is a good keeper of gates out of 10. Number 5 gets us into the very cool stuff with the best boom in the park, Raptor. Raptor is a really good invert if you like intensity, which, to be honest, I kinda don't, but whatever, I still like Raptor. I waited over an hour for this ride on my first day at the park, got to the station and was next in line to get on, and then it broke down for the night. As you can imagine, I was not thrilled. I did get to ride it the next day though when it finally opened after being down pretty much all morning, and I was lucky because it broke down pretty soon again after I got off. So I do make this part of the script with only one ride on Raptor, but it was in row 7 and I feel like I got a good enough feel for it, so basically that means my opinions are fact and should be treated as such. Wait, no, I'm joking, don't do that. Raptor very good, a lot of whippies and whoopies, I give it the Raptor shuffle out of 10. Number 4 is the top fuel dragster, as my dad says. Dragster is actually a lot of fun. I have a whole review on it, but the moral of the story is that it is very fast. The launch is absolutely incredible, and, yeah, I don't know, the top hat is cool, but really I'm putting this at number 4 for the launch, so not sure how much more you expected me to say out of 10. I have what I know for sure is a controversial pick at number 3, but this is my rankings and not yours, so you can't change it. I really enjoyed Millennium Force. Of the 2 gigas that I have ridden, the other being Fury 325, this is my favorite. There's no one part of it that really makes it stand out, but as a whole, it is just so fast and fun. My biggest complaint with Fury was that the pacing really died in the second half. Millennium Force doesn't die until the brake run. It absolutely hauls through every element, and in the front row, it is freaking amazing to have wind blasting in your face for that long. Millie makes me really excited to get on I-305, because if it really is a more intense and crazy version of Millennium Force, then wow, that sounds good. I know a lot of people think Millie is kinda cringe nowadays, but like, you wrong, this ride is so good. Millie is out of 10. Alright, number 2 and number 1 is obvious, but the order, not as much. I go back and forth on these 2 coasters a lot, but as of writing this script, this is how I have them stacked up. Number 2 is SteelVillian. I really like this coaster. With all the airtime it has, it's hard to not like it. Literally, the only things that I don't love about this coaster are the restraints and the flow, or lack thereof, of elements. Still though, even though they don't really blend together well, I love the way that each element rides. Contrary to what some people may tell you, the airtime is all ejector. Those people are just thuzies trying to gain attention and they can be disregarded. SteelVillian is very good, but as a tall person, it does unfortunately end up being a little ouchy oofy pain, wow, with the shin guards. Regardless of the things it does wrong though, SteelVillian ends up easily in my top 5, and again, those places switch around constantly, so some days it could honestly be my number 1. It all depends. SteelVillian is a Scott's opinions are bad out of 10. Alright, number 1 is Wicked Twister. I loved this ride, even though I actually didn't care about it at all until Cedar Point announced its removal, just like everyone else. Number 1 is Maverick, at least for now. Maverick aged way better than SteelVillian in my memory, which probably sounds really weird, but I don't know man, my brain works in strange ways. Where SteelVillian has no flow, Maverick flows perfectly. Every element rides smooth with no head or neck banging, the restraints and seats are comfortable, and the whole ride is the most relentless thing I have ever ridden. I got off every ride on Maverick absolutely stunned by it, and while that is technically true for SteelVillian too, I just find myself preferring Maverick. Again, for now. The whips go crazy, the inversions are pretty fun, and the airtime is unmatched in the park. Back, front, whatever, Maverick is amazing and I like it a lot. 10 out of 10. Oh, I gave an actual ranking, oh my gosh. Okay, that's the 10 best roller coasters at Cedar Point. Once again, this list is fact, so I expect to see it posted on all forums as soon as possible. Respect my opinions, sorry, facts, had a little tickle in my throat there, or lose all your subscribers, and